Day to Christmas. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to The Pulse. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle on your digital terrestrial TV because we're free to air. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. This afternoon, road traffic accidents are among 10 causes of death in Ghana, draining 2.54% of its gross domestic product annually. This afternoon, we are heavy on road safety as Christmas approaches, as the MTTD assures of strict enforcement of road regulations. Also this afternoon, there is a stern warning from the Ghana Police Service to criminals who seek to perpetuate crimes this festive season, as it hints there will be heavy police presence before, during, and after the festive season.
We are up to the task. We are ready before, during, and after the festive period.
But what should individuals look out for to stay safe? We have security tips for you on The Pulse this afternoon. Plus 13 deaths in just 6 days. The grim impact of the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in Ghana as health facilities begin to fill up once again with more doctors contracting the virus. We have details as the Ghana Medical Association calls for the arrest and prosecution of people deliberately flouting protocols during Christmas celebrations. And as Ghana lights up for the Yuletide, we'll tell you about Christmas trees in Accra made from plastics.
The bigger problem when it comes to plastic pollution is not plastic waste being available in the environment. That's not the bigger problem. The bigger problem is being accessible to recycling facilities.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignity Low, Affordable, Safe Sanitation. We're streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles at JoyNews on TV. Tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. Please stay for details.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Many thanks for choosing us. Road traffic accidents remain a major public health and development challenge in Ghana. They are among the top 10 causes of deaths, claiming 2.54% of its gross domestic product annually. Recent reports suggest that between January and July 2021, about 8 deaths and 43 injuries were recorded daily on Ghana's roads. The recent surge in road deaths and injuries has ignited demands for a sharper policy focus on road carnage. Well, it's that time of the year where friends and families come together to share priceless memories, but that's also the time that many of the accidents are recorded. This year, the Road Safety Authority has indicated that road accidents have more than doubled compared to previous years. 14,000 people have been injured in road crashes. Over 2,000 people have died. Let me share with you some statistics. And just as you can see, this is between January and November 2021. Number of persons killed, 2,608. Number of persons injured, 14,138. Now, let's look at the regional distribution. In the Greater Accra region, we had 605 of the deaths. In Eastern region, we had 427. In the Central region, we had 189. In the Western region, we had 108. Ashanti region closely follows Greater Accra with 534. In the Volta region, we had 105. In the Northern region, 55 deaths. Upper West, 50. Upper East, 85. And in the Bono region, 81. Bono East, 116. Ahafo region 73, Oti region 20, Savannah region 74, Western North 71, and Northeast 13. Now, that's not all. Between January and November, same time, there were motorcycle crashes as well. Number of motorcycles involved, 5,528. Persons killed 1,140 and a number of injuries 4,293. The Road Safety Commission is not happy about this. All other stakeholders are not happy. This is scary. And that is why today on The Pulse, we're asking how safe is our roads this festive season. We have a conversation coming up on the way forward. But first, my colleague Papania Shali visited some bus terminals in Accra to speak with last-minute travelers and to check how drivers plan to drive their passengers safely to their destinations.
The Utah season is here again, and hundreds of buses ready in themselves to transport thousands of people who are interested in moving away from the capital to their various places where they want to spend their festive season with family and friends. Shira, so where are you going to?
We are going to Kumasi.
What are expectations? What are you going to do there?
Yeah, we are going to visit our family, our relation, and also celebrate the Christmas there.
What are expectations for this Christmas?
I'm hoping to be great, everything will go well, and we are praying that by next year the COVID has gone down, everything has gone down.
If you had one thing to ask from your parents this Christmas, what was it going to be?
So lovely. They're giving me everything, so I'm okay with it.
Top of the list of the concerns for many of the people embarking on this journey is safety. One has to do with on the road, and the other is amongst us everywhere we go, COVID-19.
I would say it's about COVID. Yeah. Normally, I have no problem traveling from wherever I am to anywhere, but then the outbreak, yes, safety has become very important. So I think that is the only problem I have right now. Is to just drive carefully, yeah, and then make sure the protocols are observed. Yeah.
At this waiting area in this bus terminal, at least for the majority of the people here, are strictly adhering to the COVID-19 protocol. Yeah. And as you can see from here, the vaccination exercise is going on. And I'll talk to the folks here who are helping with the vaccination exercise. So let me ask you real quick, so how is the exercise going here for you?
Oh, it's very effective. People have been coming, and we've targeted those traveling outside Accra. So it's very effective. People have been coming though.
On road crashes, more than 2,000 people have lost their lives this year alone. What can we do? Let's talk to the drivers and find out what they want us to do together to make sure this is curtailed.
Busy. And pay no near accident. So at tea, and they say, Yea, I draft when I'm consul, and people say, Yea, a year. And Mika 10 to no, and Mika 2 no, and do a say a two as your bossy. We run overtaking. Baby, who are him now Usaka.
So what he's been saying is that, well, he knows there are challenges on the road, especially with the width of the road, but he thinks that with patience from drivers especially, they can transport passengers safely to their destinations. Again, he mentions the aspect of how long it takes them to get to their journey, especially because of the road strips that you find, a lot of road ramps, which is preventing them from getting to their destination. Sometimes the passengers get agitated that they're expecting to get to a destination in a particular time frame, but that is not the case at the end of the day.
The only thing we can do to reduce the road accident is sometimes, especially these trailers, you see, they'll get spoiled and then park in between the road. At night too, a driver may give highlights you may not see. Before you get to know that there is a car spoiled over there, then the harm has already been done. You see, it will clash. And also the road markings is more important, because from here to Kumasi, you will not see, let me say, 12 road signs. No, they are old. So they need to replace it. And then the road maintenance too is also important. They need to maintain the road. Because, you see, especially from here to Nsawam, the road is rough. Yeah. And in between Lendador and Achimota School, over there too, please, the road is not good.
Accident today, say, we will say, accident normally, and then you. Once we have Ghana, and we are me penta, when a traffic, they say traffic Ghana had a traffic dear, baby, no traffic in here. And we'll be answered by Fuka, me penta.
So what he's telling me is that, well, he's bringing a new dimension to it. He says that sometimes there's pressure from the passengers themselves. That the thinking is that from Accra to Kumasi should be somewhere 4 to 5 hours. However, if you add the traffic, which he says that is becoming more dense lately, if you add the traffic to it, it should be way more than the expected 4 hours. So some of these passengers sometimes put pressure on them. And sometimes the reason for the road crashes that we observe.
Kumasi Accra 4 hours. What trying to hire a fastest cry? Kwamuda kwa nebi about 5 hours, 6 hours. Kwano okono. Empire babana so ba kudu asundiem. Kwano so wa. Ena kwana nya wo bus no kwana nam so. Say Burkina cars trailers. Ano pa osi kwan so a. Eyen kakran sa ena kwano so nya dual carriage. Single lane e bonsa ho. Ntu kwato ka wo se odi na chi a untimi nsa no. Touch the machine to so nya abotre. Into was sent in on my bonfire so I could do for some dream now. I well, none saying now, no one's what to quan, and yes, I opened them and temper there. Now, quite correct me, see, quantity me block. No quantity.
Let's have a conversation, and joining me in the studio is Engineer David Adontain. He's the Director of Planning and Programs at the National Road Safety Authority. Good to see you. You were here not quite long ago, and you're back here. All for the good of Mother Ghana, right?
Sure.
Right. Also joining me via Zoom is Transport Consultant Dr. Godfred Achadakwa. I'm grateful for your time, Dr. Adakwa.
Thank you.
Right. Let me start with you, obviously, from the studio. The last time you were here, you were unhappy with the figures, which you say has more than doubled, especially the deaths recorded this year compared to same period last year, for instance. Few weeks after, has anything changed?
Well, let me say good afternoon to all our cherished viewers and listeners as well. I'm highly grateful to be here again to talk about the same problems which brought me here a couple of weeks ago. I wish all Ghanaians a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. But in 2 days, we'll be hitting Christmas. And I think when it gets to these periods, we all know what it means. Statistics in the past have all indicated the need for us to protect each other, especially on our roads. Because we've had series of occasions where people traveled over this short period and they didn't end, the journey.
Yeah.
And it's all as a result of what you and I know already, the indiscipline on our roads. I think comparing statistics, indeed, we have already indicated that we're not happy at all. We're worried. Indeed, if you have crossed the 2,600 line, which for the past 20 years, the whole country, we have not experienced such kind of record, it's worrying. Last year, we were around 2,589 or so, which was an election year. Indeed, somehow you will feel that election years are normally of such characteristics, but not this year. What can we use to perhaps challenge the situation and say it's as a result of this or that?
Okay.
You cannot clearly define it. Where we see going very, very, very unacceptable level is the motorcycle.
Okay.
Indeed, if you take the motorcycle out of the equation, then you see that we are perhaps less than 1,500, which means that the motorcycle menace that we used to say all the time is still around the corner and still worrying.
Yeah.
But not to talk about the speeding and the wrongful overtaking and the driving tired issue, which we come here to say all the time anyway. It's not changed.
Yeah.
And going into Christmas, it is one area that we, running our campaign, in fact, I'm happy to say that the campaign is going on very earnestly.
Okay.
All the media, you're supporting, you're giving us the spaces and the platforms to speak to the conscience of people. If you're listening to the drivers, it's the same thing they are talking about. Now, the question is, why do they know these are the problems, but they are not complying with the rules and the regulations? We have just been told, as I was entering studio, that there is a crash between Osino and I think Enyinem somewhere.
Okay.
One of these buses, passenger buses, burst a tire. And then the vehicle somersaulted.
Wow.
Now, you're going to see things of this nature within this period, because some of them, they have substandard ties, they have a problem with their vehicles, and they are not fixing. Now, perhaps they have discussed with their vehicle owners, and they are waiting. The vehicle owner is telling him or her that, don't worry, let's go over this season. Next year, I'll fix it. But next year may not be a good year for you, because you may not get there.
Yeah.
Now, if you continue to do that, you are losing your investment. People are going to be killed and maimed. You have created a big issue for this country, to the extent that the whole economy suffers. 2-point-something billion you're talking about. And that is how far what we are feeling in terms of economics. Yeah. So what we are talking about is a big issue, not only for National Road Safety Authority, but all of us, including the politician, including His Excellency the President, the Vice President, and all of us, because it's an economic issue. It is affecting our proceeds, our income as a country. So I think that when we come here and we speak about this issue, every individual, road user, transport operator, policymaker, implementer, you all have a role to play. Let me say good afternoon to my good friend, Dr. Achia. Dr. Achia, in recent time, had a crash. I am happy that God has brought him back to us again. Doc, I greet you. But I think that we are in a season that, as the driver said, we should be alert, we should be careful, we should go by the rules and the regulations. It's all about the rules and regulations. Yeah. I think if you are talking about the road infrastructure, you want dualization now, it is not going to happen today, tomorrow. You want all the potholes to be fixed, it is not going to see the light of day today, tomorrow. What we need to do is that this is what we have. This is a situation that confronts us. We should just be careful and alert and try to maneuver our way through carefully, minimizing our speeds, resting where the need comes, and then not driving under influence of any alcohol or substance. I'm sure we can get there.
Thankfully, Dr. Achia has joined us, and I must say I'm sorry for the accident. I'm just getting to know. Thank God we have you back. Now, the last time we spoke with you, and again, Mr. Adontin talked about drivers telling their car owners that there's something to be fixed, our tires are bad, and then car owners will say, okay, you just go for this one trip and come back, we'll fix it. It may never happen. You are a transport owner, you are a transport consultant. The last time you spoke about fatigue driving, you were so worried about that. Now, especially around this time, the traffic situation becomes unbearable, and this often compels drivers to switch lanes. They use unapproved routes and what have you. There's even drink and reckless driving all in one. What keeps you at night, especially as we approach Christmas? Kindly unmute for me, Dr. Achia Dakwa. Hello, Dr. Dakwa. All right, so we'll try and get Dr. Dakwa back there. But you also spoke about the massive campaign you launched some weeks ago. How is it going? And how are people responding to your message?
In fact, we're surprised overwhelmingly. The media in particular. They have embraced the campaign. It is right on their lap. Over 220 media houses across the country partnering the National Road Safety Authority together with our stakeholders. We are speaking every day. We are speaking almost every hour. And people are responding. You know that without the media, we cannot get this far. And that is why we use the media as a channel for communication. And to be honest with you, it's been so great. We are also sharing the materials. We are at the lorry stations and engaging the drivers, the VIPs, the BVIPs, and so on. And they are all responding positively. I think the difficulty we have now is that we cannot be sure between now and Christmas if they will comply. It's the compliance that we are very, very, very much interested in. But we have some confidence in the police. We are not just doing the campaign with the communication and the talking. We are backing it with enforcement. And so the police coming out to also launch a war against indiscipline, led by our good friend, Dr. Dampare, IGP. I think that we will see a different story compared to the previous ones.
Okay.
So the campaign is running very well.
Of course, the campaign is running very well. The communication is ongoing. And just like you rightly said, we are not doing just communication. We want to see the results on our roads.
Exactly.
What's the collaboration like with the MTTD?
Yes. So with the police also launching the war against indiscipline, now there is a combination of education and enforcement.
Okay.
You know, we have all been saying all the time that if you do education without enforcement, then you will be perhaps be doing entertainment.
Okay.
And we don't want to entertain.
Yeah.
We want to hit the ground.
Okay.
Now, hitting the ground means that as we have spoken to the people, the road users, pedestrians, passengers, and all that, drivers, we expect them to obey the rules and the regulations. If you don't, then the war against indiscipline will pick you up.
Okay.
In recent time, I'm sure you remember that the police even went to the extent of arresting V8s. I mean, it's something that for a very long time we haven't heard of. We haven't seen. But the police have gone beyond all that.
Okay.
Now they are arresting high-profile personalities as they flout traffic laws. So are they also arresting all others, commercial vehicles and private?
Okay.
In fact, especially the private vehicle users. If you look at the statistics, unfortunately, the private vehicles are now killing more. They are involved in the crashes than the commercial, which clearly shows that the commercial guys are also gradually understanding the concept of safety, being a bit more responsible perhaps than the private. So our target is also on the private as well. The problem is that because the commercials carry numbers, of course, if you make one mistake, you may end up killing more. That is why the focus is always on them. But I can say that they are responding. The police, again, tomorrow as I speak to you now, we are preparing to move with them to Bunsu. We are going to stay in between Accra and Nkoko, walk along the line. Some will be patrolling. Now we have, as part of the campaign, also rolled out a short code 194.
Okay.
194 is one of the numbers coming to add up to 191, 192, and 193.
Okay.
194 is a road safety issue. Anybody, pedestrian, passenger, driver, motorcyclist, within the road space, if you find anything that is threatening, risky to human life and property, use your phone to pick a photo of it, a video of it, or text or WhatsApp to us, the National Road Safety Authority. We will, together with the police, move very quickly to identify and apprehend whoever is creating a problem within the road space. Again, we have operationalized all the cameras. Now, all the cameras are functioning.
Okay.
So anybody who is misbehaving by way of flouting traffic law will be detected using the cameras. And we will definitely find you wherever you are and then deal with you accordingly. The other one we are adding is about the motorcyclists. If you look at the numbers, I am saying that if we take that equation from the road space, we'll be doing well. So our target is also on the motorcyclists. We're going to look at them, monitor them, their movements. Unfortunately, because the cities have been congested, you know, it's all over. People are taking advantage because you could be very fast and move from your origin to destination very quickly using a motorcycle.
Yes.
And so they are now enjoying the field, you know, of the day. But that is where we will also be alert. Our men dressed like me. This is the uniform we have positioned ourselves strategically with the police on the highways. You see us at Bunsu, Nkoko, Konongo, and so on all the way to the north. We are everywhere. We are issuing out these call numbers 194 to help us see everywhere. The cameras are supporting us. So I can assure you that we are ready. We are prepared. All we need is that people should listen to the messages. They should comply with whatever messages we are putting across. And I believe we can go and come see next year all of us strong and healthy to help Mother Ghana. Okay.
Let's see if Dr. Chia's line is back. Dr. Achiadakwa, I was asking the first time that you've been worried about fatigue driving. You've been worried about drivers who do not abide by the rules on the road. Especially now that we're approaching Christmas, there's going to be more of that because people want to maneuver, meander, and get to their destination quickly. There will be so much traffic, they don't want to be in traffic. What really keeps you at night when, thinking about all of this, especially as we approach Christmas? All right, so we'll try and fix this line there. But you make a very good point about the motorcycles. And you also talked about people who do not abide by road traffic regulations. But again, it doesn't rule out the fact that we still have bad roads. Yeah. It doesn't rule out the fact that the police must enforce the laws. So at this point, you are doing your bit. You want to collaborate with the police to arrest people who are indisciplined on the road. But what is the role of government in all of this?
Okay. You see, one very critical step we took last week getting into this week. Perhaps I can use that as an example. The National Road Safety Authority issued an alert, a kind of a warning to our institution, the Ministry of Energy, that we want to see all the street lights functioning. Street lights provide a very useful role, play a very useful role within the road space when it comes to road safety management. Indeed, when in the night, you and I know that roads are already dark, the environment is dark. Now, when you hit the highway, for example, and even in the cities, when there are no street lights, it's a very difficult situation for every driver. The drivers have spoken to us. They always complain about this. It is the responsibility of Ministry of Energy, in particular, to ensure that the street lights function at all times. It is the responsibility of the Department of Urban Roads to ensure that the traffic signals at intersections also function at all times. Okay. But look at what we have on the road. We, under our authority dispensation, provisions made in the Act have started operating or operationalizing some of these provisions. We have issued a kind of a warning to the Ministry of Energy that they should come up, step up their operations so that all these lights will function at least within this period into the new year. And perhaps the Department of Urban Roads would also do the same. You see, that is the road environment. That is why we all play. You cannot always be advising driver when there is a deficiency in the road space and people must fix and they are sitting down. I am not saying they are not working. They may also have some challenges, which we may appreciate. But you see, we should demonstrate priority, commitment, and responsibility to the things we do. Yeah. Otherwise, it will always be the National Road Safety Authority doing the talking all the time. That is why, commencing from next year, we are strongly going to apply the LI, which is at Parliament for passing now. Okay. After the passing, we are going to minimize the talking, but this time back it with more action. Yeah. An institution that fails to provide the kind of service that is required for us to have a comprehensive road safety, I think we'll go beyond just issuing out letters and so on. And this time, perhaps issue out notices, and even when it becomes necessary, go for sanctioning. Okay. Yes. Well, we want to see that, and if you can even take them to court. Yes. For a court to give them an order to, comply and execute their mandate, the reason why they've been established. I think that would go a long way to help us. Thankfully, Dr. Godfred Achadakwa has joined us again via phone. And I was asking you because the number of conversations I've had with you, you've been expressing worry over fatigue driving, especially by drivers. You've also talked about drivers not abiding by rules on our way. Now, Christmas is approaching. We know how the traffic gets, and we know how drivers will do everything to get to their destination in a very short time. What really keeps you at night, especially as we approach Christmas? Hello, Dr. Dakwa. Dr. Dakwa, can you hear me? Interesting. We'll try and fix this line, and then let's do that. Look at Dr. Dakwa's issue. Yeah, about fatigue. Exactly. Indeed, the fatigue driving is a silent killer. It is. I believe you drive. Yeah. You have sat behind steering wheel. Have you ever felt like sleeping?
Yes.
It happens.
It does.
Because we are human beings.
It's just within seconds.
And if you are not careful...
And it happens.
We always say that the sleepiness will steal you.
Yeah.
It will take you off.
Exactly.
Within seconds, you are dreaming. That's the daydreaming.
Yeah.
And it happens to our commercial vehicle drivers, especially if you don't rest. I want to use this opportunity to educate all of us that fatigue is a silent killer, and the vaccine for fatigue is resting.
Resting.
Have enough rest.
Yeah.
In the night. Especially if you know you hit the road running on commercial base or even on private, when you know you are traveling.
Okay.
Even within the city.
Okay.
The best thing for you to do is have a good rest.
Yeah.
Now, behind the steering wheel, whilst you are moving, we are saying that minimize your speed. Go within the speed limits. Now, whilst on the way, if you feel like you want to sleep or you are tired, there are signals that should show you that you are tired. You begin to blink your eyes. You feel very uncomfortable behind the steering wheel. You find the whole body, a kind of gone beyond your capacity. What do you need to do? Get a very safe place, a rest stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Park your vehicle. Rest for about 30 minutes.
30 minutes is too much.
Well?
Do you know 10 minutes sleep, what it can do to you?
Great.
30 minutes is too much.
Good. So I have even gone far. But in case, between 10 to 30 minutes, can do you a lot of good.
Yeah.
You drop, we are not saying that for the rest of the, no, you drop, come down, do some stretching, get some water to wash your face somehow. If you have some Coke or something, but not energy drink, not energy drink. Because sometimes we get deceived that when you take energy drink, and to be honest, you have a lot of drivers who buy this in packs in their vehicles. And as they go, they keep drinking. For thinking that the energy drink is their savior.
Yeah.
No, it will deceive you.
Yeah.
What you need is proper resting.
Yeah.
Again, if you drop somewhere and you want to rest, don't go eating heavy meal.
Yeah.
If you take in heavy meal, within 30 minutes as you start driving again, you go off again. We have issued an instruction to the transport operators that long journeys from 500 kilometers or 8 hours drive, let us use 2 drivers.
Yeah.
One will drive half of the journey and the other one will continue. We have found a couple of them complying, but some of them are not. These are signals and vaccines we can give to you this period. Fatigue is indeed a killer. It is something that if you joke with it, it can take your life and the lives of others so easily. So we should take it seriously. Unfortunately, when we go to the lorry parks and the lorry terminals, to be honest, you find a lot of people at the terminal. People want to travel, and they are so excited to go and have fun during Christmas. And so they do not mind so much. Their hope and confidence is that they have a certain driver, a certain transport operator that can take them. But unfortunately, you wouldn't know what the driver may be going through at the time. So we're saying passengers, when you also sit in a vehicle under the Stay Alive campaign, you play a role. Well, you may want to pray. You may want to do the sign of cross. Fantastic. But watch the driver.
Yeah.
Keep watching him. Usually, before a crash occurs, you will see signals. He may be speeding. He may be doing some wrongful overtaking somehow.
Yeah.
All these ones, and you can also find him very jittery, sitting behind the steering wheel. Sometimes he gets himself involved in a certain conversation that may not be needed at the time. All these signs, we are saying that draw his attention to. Advise him. Don't go and fight. Where it is necessary, you think you can drop. If he doesn't heed your advice, please drop. It is safer. Use another vehicle to continue. Or report to the nearest police post, wherever you get to. Or again, as I said, call 194 and we'll always be there to support and help you.
Yeah. Dr. Achadakwa, let me try you for the last time. We've been talking about fatigue driving. We've been talking about drivers trying all sort of means to get to their destination quicker, especially this Christmas season that there will be a lot of traffic. And interestingly, Mr. Adontin raised the issue about car owners not fixing their cars on time, and then you see there's a bus tie and he says, okay, let's go for one trip, when we come back we'll fix it, and the driver may not even come back, and he will take along with him a number of people who would die on the roads. And I'm asking, what really worries you every time at night when you are going to bed? All right, so it looks like we're not getting Dr. Dakwa there, but definitely we've been able to indicate that the statistics are bad.
Very bad.
And we need to do something about it. There's this new phenomenon about people receiving phone calls whilst driving, people doing text messaging, WhatsApp whilst driving. What has your research shown with the kind of accidents we're getting on our roads? What contribution does this have in the crashes?
Yes. If you look into our statistics, apart from driving fast, in which case we can relate it to overspeeding and the rest, the highest on our list is inattentiveness, constituting more than 40-45%. Inattentiveness. Inattentiveness could be read to mean distraction or doing something outside the requirements of your driving task. Phone calls, WhatsApping, Twittering, messaging, and all that. And these are very common things the drivers do when they hit the road. The law provides in the LI 2180 that you can communicate. But your two hands must always be on the steering wheel. The communication this time around from the law means that you can use a Bluetooth. It is a matter of you communicating, but your two hands should not be holding a device for the communication, which means that in terms of road safety management and the law, there is no occasion that we want to see a driver holding the steering wheel with one hand, because anything at all could happen, and you cannot maneuver to safety. This time around, you find drivers holding steering wheel, holding their phones, WhatsApping, and doing all sort of things. Very dangerous.
Very.
And it's killed so many people within the road space. Whilst we move, the police is dealing with this issue comprehensively because we are with them. And I think that we should continue to do that. But drivers must know and recognize the fact that communication is also one of the bad things we do. It's a bad practice. In fact, it goes even beyond drivers. You find pedestrians crossing the road and they are holding mobile phones at the same time. Some of them pressing, so especially the youth.
Earphones.
Exactly. Some of them also using earphones and
so they do not even hear when there's a horn.
You see, these are all small things that we do. And you know what we have termed it? Because some of us, we have that superstition. We believe in superstition. And we think that perhaps it is the fault of somebody. This Christmas, it will be very common. People are thinking that the devil is already in town. December, whatever you do, people will die. And so they have already accepted that. And so anything that happens to them, then they point to the devil. And they think that it is the devil that is causing it. But my dear, will the devil come, this tie burst that I'm talking to you about this afternoon, did it perhaps mean that a certain devil pierced the tie or a certain nail through the tie? No. A vehicle owner was told that the tie is old. It's worn out. It needs to be fixed, and he failed to. It is not the devil. And so many things and so on. I think that it is time for us to then drop this whole concept or misconception within our minds that the devil has a role to play when it comes to. No, there's no devil. That's why we say, Jai, Abunsam, Ejumano. And it's running. People are buying into the idea and the concept. I want every Ghanaian to shout to a certain misbehavior on the part of road user, Jai, Abunsam, Ejumano.
Jai, Abunsam, Ejumano.
Stop the devil's work.
Great. And I think the number is 194.
194.
If you see someone misbehaving on the road and you think you don't have control over it, you can call this number for assistance. So the message is just clear. Jai Abunsam Ejumano. If you see somebody misbehaving, just say it loud to the person. I'm grateful for your time.
Thank you,
Engineer David Adonting, he is with the National Road Safety Authority. We can now talk safety in our homes and around us because security is also of utmost concern this season because we are already hearing of robbery cases in parts of the country. How do we ensure we do not let our guards down this festive season? We have been joined by criminologist Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware, who is also a lecturer at the Sociology Department of the Kwame Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I'm grateful for your time, Doc. How is our crime rate looking like? A few weeks ago, we were all worried about increasing murders, increasing robberies, the increase in police shootings, and the list goes on. Has anything changed?
Well, thank you very much, Aisha. Good afternoon to you and also to your viewers. You can see that looks like for some time now, the patterns have stabilized, but then we still have pockets of certain criminals, operating. For instance, getting to Christmas, we have certain businesses being targeted by robbers, especially in the Ashanti region. We have picked up these signals of people, experiencing certain robberies. So, I mean, it's something that we should expect, especially going into the season, that we are going to experience some of these patterns, during this Yuletide. And that's why it's more important that people, take their security much more serious.
Definitely, the figures or the picture is not looking good. Is it looking better? Because we've had time to talk about, especially with police killings. These are the people who are supposed to protect us. Now they themselves are being killed. So what happens to us, the people who are supposed to be protected by the police? So that's why I'm asking, where are we now? What is our situation right now?
Well, I mean, as I said, if you look at the parties, I mean, basically we have to look at the data, I mean, the crime statistics. And you can see that, for instance, at the beginning of the year through to the middle of the year, you could see that there were increases in robbery patterns, especially what we call street robberies. Okay, and also, if you look at, for instance, Ashanti region in particular, you could see a lot of upsurge in the robbery patterns and also in the murder cases. So for me, right from the year up to now, there have been some, increases in the kind of patterns we've recorded over the period. And it is even more serious when, you have these criminals now targeting people who are supposed to protect us, especially in the case of the police. So you can see that certain patterns are happening in certain parts of the country. And I've predicted some time ago that if I look at the data from 2010 to 2016, I was seeing changes in robbery patterns, especially in the northern regions of Ghana, especially the 3 northern regions, which hitherto was not known or were not known, to have those kind of patterns of crimes. So for me, that is very worrying. And more importantly, you can see that they are targeting people within the highways and on the street. So if you look at what even happened recently with the police, you realize that the police were actually attacked and killed right in the middle of the highways, of the highways. So which I think is something that we have to look at, and it is quite worrying. And it is very, symptomatic of the patterns that we have seen over the period, especially within the year, where you see more of residential robberies and residential crimes going down, and then these crimes now moving on to the streets.
So, of course, you've been doing research into this area. How is 2022 going to look like in terms of these crimes we've been talking about? Robbery, murders, shooting of police, and all the other crimes?
Well, looking at the parties, we cannot have a society of saints, because even in society of saints, you are always likely to have certain, criminal acts happening. So I'm thinking that going into the year, 2022, we are also likely to see certain, patches of crime patterns across the country, because you see the economic conditions we have in the country. If you look at all those kind of factors, the strains and the stresses, all these things converge in time and space within a particular point in time to cause patterns of crime that we always observe or we always see. So we are not expecting, anything so, let me say, so low, but we are actually hoping that the police will be able to contain whatever comes up within the year. So, across the time, we are likely to see some patches, of these kind of crimes happening across the country and in many parts of the country.
Thankfully, the police has been assuring us of visibility. It's been assuring us that it has what it takes. And it says that it's warning individuals who will want to perpetuate crimes. We'll try and listen to ACP Kwesifori, who's been giving us all these assurances. But as we approach Christmas, what should we do as individuals? There are people who go for events who close very late. There are people who will be leaving their homes and going out and leaving, you know, nobody at home. There are a number of activities that will be going on and which people will be involved. How should we protect ourselves as individuals?
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, you see, Christmas is a very, happy time, a very happy season for everybody, but it can also come with a lot of opportunities, for what we call criminals or people we call criminals, because many times these kind of seasons carries within themselves criminal opportunity structures. So, for instance, you see there's a lot of breaks of businesses that goes on. You can see that people are happy. People normally congregate in many places. And there's always a tendency for people to forget about themselves. And this is the kind of opportunities that criminals are always looking for. Okay, so once you look at the fact that people will do all these things, then it means that people will not have to be very careful, especially once they are home, once they go out, even for businesses. So these are the three areas that I want people to look at. For instance, within the home, people have to be more cautious about burglaries because there's a tendency that we may go out, and once we go out, we even forget to even lock our doors and our windows and all that. So there's a tendency for people to break into people's homes. By the time you go to your program or your function or your shopping and come back, there's a tendency that the criminals may have also burgled into your homes and taken whatever they have to take. So it is important that we secure our homes. When we are also at home, we have to make sure that we look at our surroundings. Okay, people who go in and out and moving around our neighborhood. It's very important that we look at them. We try to profile people, as members of communities. And it's also very important that when we should go for shopping, okay, because many of us will be going for shopping this time. For me, it is very important that if we are to go out for shopping in particular, we are very careful about the way we carry ourselves within the shopping area and the shopping centers. For instance, when we buy a lot of things, if you have to buy things from different shops, it is very important that we lock those things within the trunk of our cars. We also have to make sure that in the neighborhoods or in the car parks, we are more conscious about people who stand by our cars and are very close to our cars. It is also very important that we look at our children. In case the children, should separate from us, we must be able to teach children in such a way that when they separate from parents, at the shopping centers, they're able to seek, help from the security people and also from the shop attendants and all those people. So it is very important. Secondly, or maybe more important, we also have to look at the fact that if we have to shop at night, it is important that we do that with friends or relatives. We don't have to, go out shopping at night all by ourselves or alone because it predisposes you to certain criminal elements. And also, it is very important that as we move on, we look at all these, our surroundings, and also if we have to even pick cars, we have to alight and wait at well-lit areas. All these things are things that we have to look at even as we go about our normal shopping and our Christmas activities during the Yuletide. And now for businesses, if you look at the patterns of crimes that we've seen over the period, especially throughout this year, you see that residential robberies, for instance, were low, and then there were more street robberies. So it is important that street businesses in particular, especially mobile money vendors and people who do businesses across the street, this is the time that criminals look out for the best opportunities because they know that during these times, there are breaks because their money is on the street, and so there's a tendency that money is going to be a very good attractor for certain criminal elements. Please, we have to make sure that we revise our operations, especially as businesses. If we have to close early, it is very important that we do. If we cannot close early, maybe we may have to make extra arrangements, for extra security and all that. There must be a lot of guardianship within the premises of our local businesses so that we don't easily become targets. Please, let's all be very careful about those people we even invite into our business shops and all those kind of places. It is very important.
And even to our homes.
Yes, even to our homes. For instance, people will be visiting, people will be coming with strangers. Okay, so most of the time, once you have these strangers coming into our homes, they try to look around to see all those loopholes. Okay, even if they don't even attack you now, they might come back later. So it is very important that you observe people who come into your home, how the kind of people you allow into your home, and then you make sure that you close all the loopholes and all the things that can predispose you and your family to certain criminal tendencies.
You've indicated that many people will be shopping around this time. What can we do with our neighbors? Is it possible to bringing our neighbors to also help check security? What role do they play?
Yes, I mean, most of the time, I've always said that within communities, it's very important that we employ what we call the social support systems and network of ties. So it is very important that even among us and as community members, we try to get to know each other. We try to, try to interact with ourselves to know that, look, in case there is any problem, these are the kind of things that we can do to help. It is very important that we try to even acquaint ourselves with our neighbors during this Yuletide. It is when we are able to deploy those network of ties and those kind of social support systems that when we find ourselves in time of need, especially when we are under attack, that we can be able to get the kind of support that we want. If you don't do that, look, actually, it's very sad that in Ghana here, a lot of times you have people even living in the same apartment, living in the same compound, and they don't even know who they are living with. They don't even know the names of the people they live with. And you see, when you have that kind of system or that kind of structure, it becomes very difficult any point in time when you are under attack or when you need help for people to come to your rescue. So it is important that we must begin opening up. We must begin to, interact more with people within our homes, within our communities, within our neighborhood, so that we get to know each other. I remember very recently, there was a friend of mine who had to experience, a fire outbreak in their home. And it was the neighbors who were across the street who saw the fire and had to now come to the rescue of my friend when everybody was even at home. So it is very, very important that we try to do those kind of networking and deploy those social support systems when we are with our community members.
Dr. John Sopokuwari, I'm grateful for your time. He's a criminologist and a lecturer at the Sociology Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Now, mobile money merchants at Konongo say they are living in fear following the killing of 47-year-old Edward Jamfi, a mobile money merchant. He was gunned down on Wednesday by suspected robbers who bolted with an undisclosed amount of money. Some merchants in the area say they are forced to change their operating time, while others are calling on banks to initiate safer ways of collecting their daily sales after working hours. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko has more.
Police are investigating the killing of the mobile money agent late Tuesday. Regional Police Public Relations Officer ASP Godwin Ahianyo promised a reward for anybody who will volunteer information leading to the arrest of the suspect.
We know they are residents of Okonongo. Okonongo is not that big that will say we will not be able to get them. Whoever has that information, we should come to the regional commander, share with the regional commander. The regional commander has assured us that whoever comes to him and gives the credible information that will lead to the arrest of this criminals, the person will enjoy the Christmas. That one is coming from that now.
Edward Jamfi was shot in the chest by two suspected robbers behind his house. Many believe he was trailed by the suspects from his shop to the house.
This shop is where the deceased Edward Jamfi did run his mobile money merchant business. And indeed, he's known affectionately as Bra Kwame in this area. Now, the shop is closed, and these red cloths tied to the frontage of the shop signifies that indeed he is gone. Now, this is where he closed and traveled all the way here to his home, which is about 2 miles from here. His death has sent shockwaves to people who trade here. And in fact, though he was not shot here, people believe that he was followed from the shop right to his home where he was shot. Now, let me find out from those who do business around this area how they feel after his death.
In fact, I'm a ubi abu huwa. I'm a crime and a bahantem pa, but a bobet 10 economic share name. Because we need the nest.
One concern that the mobile money operators are expressing is that the banks do close early, and so it is difficult to place the money you earn at the end of the day in a bank before you go home. So many of them carry huge sums of cash with them to the house, and that is a major danger which is exposing them to some of these robberies.
I say the point is yet time. I want to say so bank for the point at risk be a base 6 Nanka no more I one. Nanka Nintembia Anka. Yapon that time na nanka the sky could go then and a pay bar. Nanka, yeah, I can remember why. Then say Bia Wapon 5 or 6 minutes a scan of coffee. So far I be a bag of sell corner there. Or can be a baby and tell you wouldn't intend to
say or some say anything can also happen to me. If I'm closing 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I have to close 5 o'clock.
It will take the arrest of the suspects and increased security to bring back confidence to the mobile money business at Konongo. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Konongo, Ashanti region.
And back in the studio in Accra, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're still live on The Pulse, and you can join us by all our social media handles. It's on Joy News on TV. You can tweet at us with the hashtag The Pulse. We'll take a break and we'll bring you more. Still to come though, 13 deaths in just 6 days. The grim impact of the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in Ghana as health facilities begin to fill up once again with more doctors contracting the virus. We have details as the Ghana Medical Association calls for arrest and prosecution of people deliberately flouting protocols during Christmas celebrations. Welcome back to The Pulse. To the rest of our stories, 13 deaths in just 6 days. That's the grim impact of the recent surge in COVID-19 cases in Ghana as health facilities begin to fill up once again with more doctors contracting the virus. The Ghana Medical Association is calling for the arrest and prosecution of individuals who are deliberately flouting the safety protocols during Christmas celebrations. We'll hear from Dr. Frank Schreiber, who is president of the association, shortly. But first, let's show you how our numbers are looking like. And on the dashboard, you have 321 new cases. You have 3,165 active cases. You have 134,555 confirmed cases. Over 1,000 deaths, now at 1,000. And that should be more than 1,265, and you have 129,921 recoveries, and you can see those big red circles in the map. They signify, or they stand for Greater Accra region and the Ashanti region. Now the Ashanti region has taken over. The Greater Accra used to have more cases, followed closely by the Ashanti region. Now we are seeing that the Ashanti region is also recording more cases and is taking over. And that's the reason why the Ghana Medical Association has been calling for prosecution of those who are flouting the rules. Listen to Dr. Frank Schreiber. He spoke on PM Express last night.
There is no better monitoring mechanisms by being able to educate people, let them understand the implications of what they will be doing and the benefits that they will get if they adhere to all the protocols. However, in cases where it is so obvious that they are breaking the protocols, I think in the past the security agencies have done a very good job by making sure that at least those who lead the organization of such programs are arrested and prosecuted. And we believe that similar things should be done at this moment. The situation in the hospital is not that good. Our colleagues in the testing sites are reporting that now when samples come in, you can predict that about 60 to 80% of the samples will test positive. And so clearly, the situation is not helping. Less than 2 weeks ago, we had less than 1,000 active cases in Ghana. And as of this evening that we are talking, we have more than 3,000 cases in Ghana at the moment. And I'm sure by tomorrow, we will probably have more cases being reported as active cases. And so the situation is not too good. I think it's quite scary.
Member of Parliament for Adansia Sokwa Katie Hammond is blaming the leadership of the opposition NDC for the communal scenes witnessed in the chamber since the beginning of the 8th Parliament. Katie Hammond claims the NDC MPs had already served notice they will oppose the e-levy bill at every twist and turn. That's not all. He also alleges that the consistent presence of the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, in the chamber during a crucial decision in Parliament spurs on the minority to misbehave. Parliament, since the inception of the 8th its 8th, has been involved in a series of disturbances and chaos which has widely been condemned by the citizenry. The former Deputy Energy Minister, who is incensed over the conduct of the minority, alleges former President Mahama may have been involved in asking the NDC MPs to fight the e-levy.
We agreed that appropriation bill will pass. And then their view was that, well, appropriation having been passed, we would not help you to pass the e-levy. As far as they are concerned, it comes from top, the younger people, members of parliament, even the leadership of parliament. It all goes beyond them. They've got constituencies, and their constituencies is not their simple constituencies. They got the big. There wasn't much they could do by way of that.
So do I get understanding that, I mean, the NDC as a party were the ones who actually forced them?
Yes, if you didn't. Come on, I'm surprised that at your level you don't know that this is the.
You have independent.
No, listen, don't play the ostrich game over here. I mean, they got separate. You think we don't also have our MPP doesn't have our.
For you to allege that they are being controlled by the party.
It's not an allegation. I said, don't catch the general secretary here. What do you think he's doing here? Is he a chimney sweeper? He cleans up there for us. You think that's what he does there? I said, don't catch is always general secretary over the NDC. He's here. It's an open secret. If you don't know, I'm telling you, they are bigger constituency. It's more interested in this matter than you imagine. And so, as far as they are concerned, this is a matter that has assumed the dimension that I have described. It's not limited within their circles and leadership as the individual. You think independent. We are independent. When it comes to a party, listen, we are here on a ticket of a particular party. They are here on a party called NDC. We are here on one called MPP. If you play the independence game, I'm independent and I'm this and this, and you're not part of a family. There's a family. You can understand them. They're saying that, well, this is what the family are saying. Family says that we are against this one. That's fine. I mean, their bigger constituency out there is telling them that they shouldn't help us. They shouldn't agree with government.
We should blame their bigger constituency.
I mean, indeed. If you ask me that I'm prepared to go on record that those are the people or that constituency is the group to be blamed. The good people of Ghana.
John Mahama involved.
If we have to mention the former president, why not? I don't know who constituted the bigger group, but I do know. I don't know whether John Mahama should be mentioned because, as far as I'm concerned, if you are no longer the president, you are not. He doesn't hold any position.
He's very influential. He's preparing to lead the party.
That's fine. I don't.
Caucus are backing him to lead.
I do not know about that. But as I say, if it is the fact that he is at the center, then of course you should take a.
Is that your suspicion that he could play a part?
My position is that constituency, that big constituency, definitely, I say don't get here, definitely Ofusuampofo, because he's the chairman, I say don't get here, is the general secretary, and of course the leadership. Indeed, I'm even prepared. I was going to include their elders, but I'm not sure the role the council of elders are playing in there. But at least I am clear in my mind about the leadership. And to this extent, if John is playing any role, I'm happy.
J.T. Hammond alleges that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, is not living up to expectations due to its affiliation with the NDC. This, he believes, is making it difficult for the Speaker to walk the line without courting the displeasure of his party supporters.
He was complaining the last time about being number 2, number 3. Now I hear he's number 2. But, the status of number 2, he should imagine the status be commensurate with his presence in the House. If for some unavoidable reasons, a matter of health or any other reason, he is not there, it's understandable. On this occasion, we don't know what happened, but you force me. I'm going to behave once like my friend Kennedy Japan. He says things like, "No, I won't talk about it." Before he's talking about it. I am not him, so I won't talk about it. But he isn't. He wasn't there. We hope that when we come on the thing.
Has he lived up to expectation as a Speaker of Parliament?
It's been difficult. It's been difficult. You see, let's again be realistic. Alban Bagbin was always NDC. I don't think he was ever going to change to be MPP. It's not possible. I mean, the leopard and the skin and those things, you know how it is. So, Alban Bagbin was always NDC. He was running for their, their presidency. I mean, all of a sudden, and we didn't vote for him. We MPP didn't vote for him, except of course, whatever happened, he won it, So the whole caucus of NDC, they voted for him. His spirit, his blood, his everything is still NDC. There's no doubt about that. You can't blame him. You think you voted me as the Speaker of Parliament, I'm certainly NDC. Let's be realistic politically. I mean, so he's sitting there, yes, having been appointed or elected or whatever the Speaker is supposed to be a referee, a neutral referee. Is it possible? That's the difficulty he has. And Sedun Katia comes to his office. What does he come there to do? But who stops and says, you can't put handcuff around Sedun Katia's legs and hands, even though General Mosquito, if I could, if I could, I would wrap him up in whatever and throw him away. But you can't. He goes.
So he's not being the kind of speaker you expect.
It's a difficult. No, again, you are wrong. I mean, speaker that way. What did we expect? We expected that Barbin, having been voted as speaker, certainly as MPP, is going to. Yeah. We'd expected that he would here and there try and then. Nobody one day thought that he suddenly was going to sit down and start clapping for MPP. Yes, you guys, what's your number? Come on, move on. This.
The ingenuity of traders, electronic toys form the bulk of Christmas items. Unfortunately, that presents a challenge for traders who mostly have little education or knowledge on electronics when the items start malfunctioning. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Debra looks at how light and sound affect sales of Christmas toys and how these traders are coping with their maintenance.
Sound travels through liquids, solids, and gases. But these solids, liquids, and gases contain molecules or atoms which vibrate back and forth. So the speed of sound through a substance is dependent on the density of the substance. That means that if a substance is more dense, the atoms, the molecules are tightly packed, and so sound will move very fast. But if it's less dense, it means that the atoms and molecules are far apart, and then it will move slower. Sorry. Forgot. There's not a physics class. It's not a physics class. Better. Sound and light are both waves. But light travels faster than sound. Regardless of that, our eyes are nothing without light. And who can resist a dulcet female voice or a suave male baritone?
The light and sound helps to drive sales.
This observation is the main force behind trader Felicity's selection of items for Christmas sales. The items ranging from hats to spectacles are either fitted with buzzers or lights.
They all demand light or sound. If they are absent, they refuse to buy.
For the entire items costing 500 cedis, the ones with light and sound form 80%.
I bought the ones with light and sound for 400 cedis.
Of course, sometimes the electronics go bonkers. Felicity would then try to do some repairs. She fidgets with either the wires or the batteries.
Sometimes, when you play with the wires, they get back to work.
When the attempts are not successful, Felicity has no other choice but to give a discount.
The spectacles are 5 cedis, but I'll give it to you at 4 cedis when the light is not working.
Another trader, Martin, who has gone for about 80,000 cedis worth of these toys, has been observing their electrical system. He has found a way of repairing them.
Mostly, we observe they've been joined together with a super glue, and so when they get spoiled, we use super glue to mend them.
But for patients at the central market, the items are either discarded or go for free.
When they get spoiled, I send it straight to the refuse dump or give it to a child.
An advice for people who want to cash in on a Christmas frenzy. Please don't forget the sound and light. Because if you forget the sound and lights, you're necessarily bound to fight for your diet. Enjoy this Joy News Sounds and Light. My name is Kwesi Deborah for Joy News.
Kwesi Deborah with that report. Some major parts of the Garden City, Kumasi, has been lit with beautiful decorations interspersed with Adinkra symbols. This is an initiative of EcoBank in partnership with Chandel Deco. The move, according to them, is to enhance visibility for improved security in the city center, as well as beautify the city for the Christmas celebrations. Prince Apia observed the transformation and now reports.
This year's Light Up the City will benefit Accra and Kumasi and has been taken a notch higher in terms of designs and its reach to restore some brightness and joy in Ghanaians during the Christmas season. It also takes a new dimension as part of the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council's Let's Make Accra Work Again agenda. According to EcoBank Ghana, this is an initiative they will continue to embark on for their customers and shareholders. Here is Executive Director of EcoBank Ghana Limited, Edward Nate Butri.
When you talk about startups, we support startups in various ways. There are various tools that we make available to them. I think we've got the FinTech Challenge, where startups in that regard, we support them to grow. There are several programs that we do have for startups, and that is an area that, again, we expect to continue. I should say that 2021, in spite of all the COVID challenges that we all had as a country, I think that as a bank, we found ways to be able to support our customers. And if there's one thing that they can count on, they can count on our continued support in every area of their businesses, as we've always done in the past. And we are sure that working together with our customers and our stakeholders, we expect next year to be an even better year.
The project was launched in 2019 and is in collaboration with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly and Chandel. The aim of lighting up some principal streets of the capital to set the tone for the Christmas season. James Eshan's report for Joy Business.
Well, Christmas trees have always almost been made out of expensive, exotic materials that put the cost beyond many who may want to decorate their homes for the Yuletide. With just 2 days to Christmas, one man is seeking to change that and also help tackle one of the country's biggest environmental problems, plastic pollution. My colleague Justice Beidou went to meet him.
Plastic bottles have become a problem for many in Ghana, choking gutters, filling up waterways, worsening the country's already big environmental problems. Here, inside the academic city university in Accra, plastic bottles have a different use.
So this is a receptacle. It's an industry-academia partnership. What we wanted to do was that we wanted to create a sustainable strategy for waste segregation. Because the bigger problem when it comes to plastic pollution is not plastic waste being available in the environment. That's not the bigger problem. The bigger problem is being accessible to recycling facilities.
Makafui Awuku is a serial entrepreneur and engineer. 5 years ago, he started making Christmas trees with plastic bottles.
I realized that when people see the plastic waste being used for upcycled items, it changes their behavior without you even speaking to them about it, because they can see the visible plastics in the installation. And the Christmas tree installation is one of the most amazing installations we do every year. So every year we identify a couple of public spaces, we weave the tree with a couple of volunteers, and then we put lights in them, and we have it installed, and it can be there for a couple of weeks or months. So that's just one of the outlets when it comes to upcycling. And it's a sustainable outlet because after we install the tree, when we are done, we can remove the bottles and then pass it on to other recycling programs.
This is the Achimota School. It is one of the country's oldest and best high schools. And it is here that Awuku's organization is partnering young students to teach them how to build Christmas trees from plastic waste they create in the school.
We have a 20-foot tall tree
with a base of 7 feet, made up of about over 1,200 plastic bottles, recycled right here in the school. And as you can see, it's really beautiful. And it's all by just one initiative, recycling. The plastic in itself is very intriguing if you look at it, because global warming, and that's brought about by wrong plastic management. If you go on the seas, you realize fishermen are catching more plastic than fish, and it's very appalling and sad. If we practice proper waste management, I'm sure we can catch more fish and enjoy our Christmas.
If we had all Christmas tree made with plastics, it's going to save Mother Earth. It's going to save Mother Earth of the waste degradation, plastic waste degradation it would have experienced, choking of drains, gutters, and all of that, as we see every time. And this is the best example for the nation to emulate.
When these trees are lit up in the night, it is a sight to behold, as seen on the Instagram pages of the Achimota School.
For me, Christmas means more of, people taking time off to spend with loved ones. Food, laughter, happiness, networking, catching up, rest, So anything we are able to do to help, get people more relaxed, a little bit less stressed, and having something exciting to talk about is wonderful.
Elku plans to work with more schools to bring innovation into other parts of the country. So this Christmas, if you see a Christmas tree up your street or anywhere in town, be sure to check. You may just be looking at a Christmas tree made from the bottle you dropped somewhere. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
And that was a report by Justice Baidu. We're still live on the pulse. We'll take a break. When we return, we have the very latest for you from the world of sports.
In this season of giving, sharing, and gratitude, we pause to appreciate you, the special people who made our journey joyful. We say a big thank you. From all of us here at the Multimedia Group and our families to your families, grateful hearts. Asida, Christ at work.
I've tried so hard, but I guess I'll just leave my work to my journalism and my work as a ring announcer. So where am I? I'm here in the gym in Accra, and this was set up by a world title winning trainer. Can you hear the noise in the background? Okay, well, guess what? This is the man. Bukom Baku. Show me the lighter. Them everybody my lighter. Them everybody my lighter. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, that's what it means. DJ for them to tackle on my game. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, that's what it means. DJ for them to tackle on my game. Pika, did the shabalam, the shabaraka to ya, we are me a mantito. They want to come and up in this. Fire, we are me, we are Monday. They want to come and up in this. Fire, we are me, we are Monday. Them everybody my rock my name. Them everybody no legal lighting. Them everybody my rock my name. Them everybody my legal lighting. Fire the board them up my team. Oh, I'm here some applause. Charlie, video. Hey. So, look, it's always a pleasure talking to my friend. It's been a while. But what's the title of this song, Baku? Give me a lighter. Let's talk about your musical career. It's interesting that you've been producing so many songs. What's been happening? I mean, this is a, what? Raga-like song. This is a dancehall. Dancehall, raga, like song. Okay. So you have dancehall, you have high life, you have, hip life. And you have a mixture of everything. It's my talent. I see. That's your talent. I see. How many songs have you done so far? Almost 100. 100 songs? You can ask me, because at the time I'm training for my coach. I see. Me, I know music before they go to bossing. I see. Banco? Yes, man. Everybody wants to see you come back into the ring, but everybody also talks about age and boxing. Manny Pacquiao is in his 40s. He says he has had enough. He fought against Udenis Ugas and he lost to him.
he says he has had enough. You have crossed the 40 mark.
Yes.
Does your body still feel good to continue fighting? Is a concern that many of your fans have, and they want me to ask you.
Cutting this one for the net. Nothing. You know Holyfield.
Yeah.
Holyfield, he got 49 years before he stopped boxing.
Yes.
Our weight is bigger. We can fight 44, 45, 46.
So what is your plan?
Me, my plan, when I reach 45, I will stop. Right now, I'm 43 years. My age, boxing no age catch me, but my speed is coming down. My speedness I use in the ring is coming down. So I'll train hard.
But if your speed is coming down, Banku, it means it can be an advantage for
it can be
your opponents.
Listen, I'm not dodging. You understand? Me, Ghana bosses are not dodging. And I'm not stepping. Oh, the blood won't come in my face. I'll train hard. My Peking also give me sparring all the time.
Your son, the one I saw in the video? So he's been
when I go, he go come.
I see.
When I return for the ring, he go come the ring.
Okay.
Oh, Bangu go, Bangu come.
I see. And
they call him Bukom Tilapia.
Bukom Tilapia. Why? Why? Why Bukom Tilapia?
I'm Bangu Masoni Tilapia. Why be so?
When do you want him to launch himself fully, in the professional
When I finish
ranks?
the school, when I finish the SS, I'll launch him.
When he completes senior high school?
He go to school.
I see.
He there from two.
But I thought that some time back you told me in an interview that you didn't want any of your children to become boxers.
Yes. I don't boxing, but I told you already that boxing is a mental work. But I want my Peking go to school to go and be a president on the minister. But that guy particular, he said he no agree about me. He's a bosser. So I leave him.
So he doesn't want to become a president or a minister?
He said he don't like the president. He's a bosser. I will leave him.
So you want him to fight?
Today,
what weight division do you think your son Bukom Tilapia?
Welterweight.
Welterweight. Okay. So are you the only one who trains him? Or somebody else trains him as well?
Kaloko train him.
Okay.
Coach Kaloko train him.
I see.
Well, you have the big experience.
Great, great. Tell me about Kaloko and your relationship with him over the years.
Oh, Kaloko, he like me. Kaloko, he love me. Me and Kaloko, we did America, we get America papers. Kaloko is my coach. Me, I respect him already.
I see.
We shake small, but we continue our friend.
What do you mean by you shake small? Okay. You had a fight?
Yes. We fight small.
What was it about?
It's not 12 rounds, just 3 rounds. Advision fight.
I see.
But we continue ourselves. He's the best coach in Ghana, Kaloko.
I see. I see.
You know, we have boxing coach in Ghana. We have physical coaches in Ghana. Yeah. Me, myself, I know the physical coaches in Ghana. I know the boxing coaches in Ghana. Because I'm a champion boxer in Ghana. They beat me, but my name is top. They want me to come and fight, to champion the crowd again.
I see.
They don't get my size.
Your son, is he as good as you are in terms of bringing people together and letting them love the sport the way you do?
Oh, he carry on. He have my everything.
I see.
Jovial music, comedian fighters, ruffian, comedian everything. Bosses, English, backwards, he have everything.
So
he resemble me too.
He does what?
He resemble me.
What is the meaning of that?
Me.
I see.
He resemble me.
I see. And so you think he's going to be better than you? He's going to make bigger impact?
There is no Peking can grow in father. If you taller than your father,
so Banku, it means you don't want your son to become a world champion.
But no, the most anymore.
Yes, I know.
Call it on Walo, if he do have the experience in a good boxer, it's from me.
I see.
Yes, it's from me.
I see. So it means that you are giving him experience. So how far do you want him to go? Because if you don't want him
if he cannot retain.
But you haven't picked up a major world title.
That's what I tell you. If you taller than your father, it's stupid to pay share. Go careful. Go to the phone. If you are a good boxer, me I boo you. Or me I'm a good boxer.
I see.
Yes, if you are a rich man, if you are not boo you can't be a rich man. Or me I boo you. Or if you are a rich man, me I'm a rich man.
I see. I see.
He have my own experience to continue. Maybe I can finish the school. Well, he can finish for me. Well, if he finish the school, Banku finish the school.
Okay.
Yes, so, if Abu take the water, Banku take the water.
So Abu Kamoko,
yes.
Bukom Tilapia, the welterweight.
Yes.
When is he going to stage his debut? And will you be in his corner when he stages his first fight?
Okay,
me maybe if I no can claim no you're professional.
no Sunday you.
Oh, this talking there, I don't know. You can ask Kaloko.
Okay.
The coach is here.
Okay.
This one there, I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
The coach is there, Kaloko.
I see.
You can ask, this matter there is from Kaloko.
Well, if you just joined us, I'm having a conversation with Brian Makamoko, aka Bukom Banku, the former WBO Africa light heavyweight and cruiserweight champion. And we're talking about his career. We're talking about a few other things in boxing and away from boxing. And we're looking forward to something big because next year he's been signed on to do a 3-fight deal, which will see him become the best paid boxer in Ghana, who's based here in Ghana. That's what we'll be talking about here on Joy News and Joy Prime as we go along with this conversation. Banku, okay, so we're supposed to put on our sunglasses.
Advice for the bosses.
Okay.
Training hard.
Okay.
No drink alcohol. No smoke. Respect your coach. You can be a world champion.
I see.
Ghana bosses. Mogoba.
Okay, but Banku, tell me something as well. You know, this deal with Alex Ntiamwa box office, you're going to earn 600,000 Ghana cedis after 3 fights next year. How does that make you feel? It's big money. No boxer in Ghana has earned that kind of money before. On the local scene, I mean, in Ghana.
This one you can't ask me. You know I'm a great bosser. I'm a great bosser past everybody in Ghana. Ghana, I'm ambassador. In Ghana, where they can pay me big money apart. More than them. Well, this one I will be talking.
I see.
I'm a bigger boss in Ghana. I'm ambassador. Where they can pay me bigger.
I see.
Yes.
I see. And so there are 3 fights under it. Are there any particular boxers that you wish to fight in that deal, within that deal?
Oh, the boxers that they wish in Ghana, the boxers that they wish to fight them, nobody in Ghana.
There's nobody here.
That heavyweight they are fighting, nobody can fight with me.
You mean the heavyweight division?
Yeah. Oh. Master.
Which of them are you talking about? Which of the heavyweight boxers are you talking about?
One week boxing they fight.
Tyson Fury? Deontay Wilder?
These people. When I sleep at all.
Are you serious, man?
At all. I swear with God, when I sleep, the boss says, at all, but you know me.
Okay, I know, but you see, Tyson proven to all of us that he's got technique, he's got a heavy punch, you know, and he's a heavyweight as well. You're not a heavyweight.
At all. I'm not a heavyweight.
You're not a natural heavyweight. Yeah.
You know me from the beginning.
Yes.
The time I know you, nobody is here know you.
Yes, I know.
I mean,
that's very
true. There is no coaches and nobody know you. Me, I know you from the beginning.
That is
the
true.
time you there for media, I know you almost 25 years at all. But you know me already.
That's
you
true.
know Chinny from beginning.
Yeah.
You know my wife. Yes, I know you very well. I thought you know me. I have the good coaches in Ghana. You know I'm a good bosser. You know I know bossy talented. So if I say I go beat somebody, don't doubt. Don't doubt.
I see.
Pray for me more. You say what? I have the good coaches me too.
I see.
Oh, I don't continue.
Which of them would you want to face first if you are put before?
Come on, the black man or red man, they cannot fit me. There are 2 people.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
At all.
I see.
At all, I swear. I swear with God. That 2 bosses. When I sleep at all. Oh, you know you all. Boy, I need no boss in Gashani. Me, I know in Basefiu. My eye they step on the center because of that. But me, I'm the world champion in Ghana.
We're wrapping up the conversation. I want you to give another message to all of your fans, especially those who are craving to see you in the boxing ring, you know, as fast as possible. They're listening to you and they want you to say something to them.
All my fans there for the nation. I'm back for the ringside, so all my support. I'm going to fight with Nampari. Welcome to see Buko Banku in the ringside again. Say Banku. Ato. See.
All right. So well,
give me the lighter.
This is like a video.
Give me the lighter. Them people, them a lighter.
Thank you so much for watching. That's the man, Brian Makamoko Buko Banku. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.
Them people, them a lighter. Them people, them a lighter. Shabaran Stana, Mr. Lavaman, Shakade, Moskiriti Nayo, Babu Manle, Buffalo Soja, Michael Justin, Bright and White, I don't know to buy Neta, Ipopure, Mr. Koto Enchi, Bomi Commode, Amatamati de Bebe, Kakabombo, Yami, CK Mana, Dwanyanke, Nana Pedu, no Mombu Adrina, Bozo, yes, like Kaikaway, Jim Madan Simanda, Diluba, Mr. Patamasina, Nanam to 4. Jimadan Simanda, Diluba, Mr. Patamasina, Nanam to 4. No, my MC for the same move.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
And that's where we part company. I've indeed enjoyed my almost 2-hour stay with you. Up next is Let's Talk Showbiz. And also remember to log on to myjoyonline.com. We have more news and all the updates on the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our program.
When you know one logo line, one cell line, aha, contestant in
and thereby, I mean, be you into Mamma Modern, I send me the piano.
Need a kune today, but today, me and you. You are not more my friends, so today, me and you, one-on-one.
So tell me about this street food festival that is happening on Thursday. That's happening around.
Yeah. So tomorrow we are having Street Food Fest at 1 p.m. and it's at Children's Park. So it's going to be, we are going to have games, we are going to have music, Kwabna is passing through, Kwao Kese will be there, and other surprise artists, so I wouldn't tell you all. And we are going to have lots of street vendors. We've had all our 13 contestants throughout the show. Some are out anyway, but then they'll be there tomorrow to, you can be around to taste what they have. Since it's been on TV and you haven't had a feel of what they sell. And if you haven't been to their joints yet, they'll all be around tomorrow, so you can pass through and have a feel of what they have.
So now let's talk about the 13 contestants. So but I know that there have been eviction. I know people have had a very sad moment because they've had to be evicted and they've had to go. Are these 13 contestants all around all the places and the regions you have been?
Yes. We had people coming in from Kumasi, we had Accra, we had Kaswa, the central region. So for now, those are the vendors we had for this season. But hopefully next year we'll have more coming from the other regions as well.
But explain to me, why Street Food Fest? Well, why even the competition to start with and why the festival too?
Street food, because most often people don't pay attention to the food we buy. All they think about is the watcher on the street. But as to the importance and what they give to society, most of us don't think about. You go to Achimota Festival, for instance, and all they portray is the arts part of it, and they leave the food out. But the food is everywhere when you go to the Achimota Festival. So we took it upon ourselves to let people know what they do and then what they have to give to us. So that is why we ventured into that area and then brought it out for everybody to know the watches sell around Lima, around Jamestown. That is why we did Street Foods Ghana. Exactly.
I'm sure you have gone through a lot of hurdles and heckles getting all these food vendors under one umbrella. First, I know you had a lot, then you had to screen to the 13. How was the experience? How was the journey?
It wasn't easy, but we had to come down to 13. It wasn't easy at all, but...
So who qualified to be part of even the overall before you trimmed it down to 30?
Okay, so we had a section that had meet me dish, that had meeting the contestants, if that's how I should put it. So it was themed meet me dish. So it was out of that particular episode we chose our 13.
Well, is Ghana the only place you've had street food?
No, please. In Nigeria as well.
Okay. Wow. So it's going to be a yearly?
We hope so. We hope and pray.
What time should they be there? Who can come and be part of the tasting and all?
Everybody and anybody can be there. Gates are open from 1 p.m. and it's free.
Oh.
Yes, okay. It's free at the Children's Park from 1 p.m. tomorrow. We have our vendors who will be selling. Okay. All our 13 vendors will be selling. Oh, okay. But we're praying we'll get free food tomorrow.